It is very exciting to see all of you here and to see the wonderful enthusiasm that you are displaying for this lovely new branch that is opening up behind us today. You're going to be the first ones into this building, except the staff and all the wonderful workers who've been here. I do thank you for coming, and before we get going with the real program, I also want to thank the number of staff from the county, this construction company and their subcontractors for all of the work that they have done. This couldn't be possible, this wonderful building, if we didn't have all of what I consider the worker bees, the people who've purchased the furniture and the materials, the people who've put the materials out for you, the people who've done the finishing work, and the design team. It is absolutely marvelous. We've had county people who've had to work with the number of vendors. And again, this would not be possible if we didn't have wonderful staff working behind the scenes to bring us this absolutely wonderful new library. Now we'll begin the program officially with the Battlefield High School JROTC presenting the colors. I think it is on. Okay, too far away. All right, it's my pleasure now to introduce the Honorable Corey Stewart, Chairman at Large on the Prince William Board of County Supervisors.
Thank you, Connie.
You're welcome.
Morning, everyone.
Morning, Corey.
Are you ready to open up a library?
Yes.
Well, so are we. It's been 20 years in the making, but we are a community on the move. $1.4 billion of road projects, $50 million of park projects, 90,000 children in our school system, highly educated, great kids out there, huh? Don't we have great kids in Prince William County? And at a time when most localities across the United States are closing libraries, Prince William County is building 2 new large community ones. But this has been a team effort. There are so many people here who we have to thank. And I want to get started by acknowledging the members of the Board of County Supervisors. Representing the Gainesville District, where we are right now, Supervisor Peter Canlon. And next week, we're going to be opening up yet another regional library down in Montclair, and we've got the Potomac District Supervisor, Miss Maureen Cadogan. Representing the Brentsville District Supervisor, Miss Janine Lawson. Representing the dean of the board, as I like to call him, the Neabsco District Supervisor, Mr. John Jenkins. The Occoquan District, Mr. Mike May. We also have with us Senator Dick Black. Representing the Gainesville School Board, Allison Satterwhite. That's from the town of Haymarket, Mr. Joe Pasanello. The Haymarket Mayor, Mr. David Leake. We are also privileged to be joined by past Gainesville supervisors, and this has been a long time in coming. Been a lot of work over a long period of time, beginning with former Supervisor Ed Wilborn, former Supervisor Tony Giuffre, and former Supervisor John Stirrup. And last but not least, I wanted to recognize our County Executive, Miss Melissa Pecor. So, we've had a lot of difficult budgetary discussions as our county continues to grow. We're now at about 450,000 residents. I think we've just surpassed Virginia Beach to become the second largest locality in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And with that growth, we've got to build new roads, new schools, new parks, and yes, new libraries. And there was a lot of discussion about how to get that financed, how to get that done, how to make way for a new library in the midst of all these other needs that Prince William County has. Some would say that what's the need for a library in the age of the internet? You can go to your laptop computer and you can pull up all the information you possibly want. But libraries are much more than that. And while Google can give you 10,000 answers, only a librarian can give you the right one. So this edifice behind us, this beautiful building, will stand here long after all of us on this board are gone and long after many of us are here. But it will continue to serve the residents of the Gainesville District, not just as a source of a place to go and get information, but as a community center that helps bring all of us together. And so I do want to share with you this one story, and many of you have heard this before, but when we were considering financing the library and we were thinking of pushing it back a couple more years, I got a telephone call from Mary Jo Rigby. And Mary Jo said, "Look, Buster, you better finance that library, and I want it open by 2015. So we did just as Mary Jo said. This library could not have opened without the great leadership of so many, but one person who was instrumental in making sure that it opened and that it opened on time was the Gainesville District Supervisor, Mr. Peter Cantlin, and I'd like to invite Pete to come forward at this time.
Well, good morning, everyone. How are you doing?
Wonderful.
That is good. That is good. I'd like to thank each of you for attending the ribbon cutting today of the Haymarket Gainesville Community Library. We are truly blessed to be here on such a beautiful morning to commemorate such a wonderful occasion. I'm extremely grateful to many of my colleagues on the Board of County Supervisors that are here today to celebrate with us the opening of this significant building and community resource here in the Gainesville District. I'm particularly grateful to Chairman Corey Stewart, who had to work hard to navigate the difficult political and budgetary terrain to make this ribbon cutting possible. His work to build a coalition of support for 2 libraries in Prince William County is a testament to his leadership and commitment to the quality of our communities. I would also like to recognize the dedication of Supervisor Maureen Cadogan. As many of you know, there was a time when these libraries were in doubt, but Supervisor Cadogan made it clear that both libraries, the one in Gainesville and the one in Montclair, were going to be built. And for that, we owe her a debt of gratitude. Thank you, Maureen. While it was not always easy to find funding, resources required for the construction of this facility, it is my privilege to serve on the Board of County Supervisors whose members made this a priority. And it is a testament as we stand here today of the vision of those leaders in Prince William County and their dedication to a better community. When political campaigns are over, an elected official accepts a sacred trust to serve a cause that is much bigger than any political ambition. We define ourselves by our commitment and conviction to serve our community and its citizens, and set aside the pettiness of politics and embrace the principles of good governance. That is what has brought us here today, to open a shining beacon of good governance and a commitment to serve our community. I also want to express my appreciation on behalf of the families in the Gainesville District to the numerous volunteers who continuously prodded, like Mary Jo, prodded the leaders of the Board of County Supervisors to act, who relentlessly expressed their dedication over and over again to the importance of this library, and who, after being told no repeatedly, kept coming back to remind the board of the importance and value that the library can have in our community. Now, I know that there are many, many people who shared this vision, who made enormous contributions to the effort to promote the importance of this library in our community. Many who gave of their resources, their time, to protect the dream that became a reality when that first shovel turned dirt in that very hot day in July 2014. Names like Charlie and Mary Jo Rigby, Sandy Iciello, Beth Ann Kim, John Stirrup, Dick Murphy, and many others will be remembered for years to come for their dedication to this great endeavor. We salute you for your hard work and your sacrifice. Our community thanks you. This is truly your day. I appreciate Chairman Stewart recognizing all the former Gainesville supervisors. Gainesville Haymarket was not built in a day. This took a lot of hard work and leadership from past public servants. One public servant that was overlooked was Supervisor Don White, who is also here today. I'd like to recognize him. It was just over a year ago that I stood near this spot and I predicted that the Haymarket Gainesville Community Library would become the new hot spot in town. Now, I don't want you to mistake me for Donald Trump, but I want to tell everyone here that I was absolutely right when I said that. Let me be clear, this will not be your father's library. This building will be a hotspot classroom for pure learning and a hotspot gathering place for people of all ages. It will be a hotspot community resource center that will serve families as they seek greater knowledge and better understanding of the world around them. This library will be a hotspot provider of free and open information that will empower people to improve their lives. This hotspot library will open the doorway of understanding and learning that was largely inaccessible to many people even just 15 to 20 years ago. This hotspot library will be the catalyst for enriching our community and bridging the gap between cultural and socioeconomic differences of families who reside in Prince William County. This library will be a hotspot for students to complete classroom assignments, with middle and high school students working at computer terminals doing research. This building will be a hotspot for our large senior community and the many homeschooling families who call Prince William County home. This library will become the hotspot for new ideas and innovation that will catapult a new generation of thinkers to even higher levels of achievement. In closing, let me ask a favor of each one of you. When this ribbon cutting ceremony ends and you take advantage of the opportunity to walk throughout this great building and get a sense of the impressive architecture, the quality of construction, and the overwhelming volume of information at your fingertips, I would ask that you stop. Just take a moment and think. Think about the possibilities for the future, the ideas, the inspiration, the innovation, the achievements that will happen in this building. simply because we as a community came together and decided to build something great. Thank you very much, everyone. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce a woman that was instrumental in getting this library built. Her dedication has been an inspiration to me, and I thank her for everything that she has done for the community. It is my honor to introduce Mary Jo Rigby.
The sun is shining, hearts are open and happy, and I am humbled to be among you. I'd like to go back and thank those residents who back in 2006, spurred on by the Library Foundation and their members and other residents here, to come out and vote for the bond referendum. That truly started the ball rolling. I'd like to thank Beth Ann Kim and her trove of volunteers who conducted 2 super fundraisers, which will be used to support this library. I'd like to thank Sandy Iciello and the Friends of the Library, because they have spent tireless hours gathering donated books, putting them together for successful used book sales, and that money will go towards programming and activities for this library. I'd like to thank the staff and volunteers that had worked so hard at the Gainesville Neighborhood Library. They worked for many years in very tight quarters and under some unusual circumstances. They are truly dedicated employees, and they have helped to make our community one of harmony and a wonderful place to come and visit. I'd like to thank my fellow trustees on the library board. They've encouraged me and they've kept the faith through this long journey. Thank each and every one of you. I'd also like to thank the Board of County Supervisors, who finally made this happen. And yes, I did have to twist Chairman Stewart's arm a little. Thank you, Buster. I'd also like to thank Dr. Gilman and her staff, because opening 2 new libraries in 1 year is a monumental task. And these dedicated employees of the county and the staff of the library have gone to great efforts to make this a successful opening today, and I'm sure next week at your library over in Montclair. They're to be commended. And finally, I'd like to thank my husband, Charlie, who has put up with all of my traipsing around the county, encouraged me when I was down, and has just been my rock in support. He is my true friend. This is a dream come true for me, but it's also a dream come true for the community. And I am so proud and humbled to be part of a community that I can look around and say to each and every one of you, job well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mary Jo. We appreciate that. I want to just say Dick Murphy, the former Prince William Public Library director, was unavailable to be with us today, but he did ask me to thank the community and everyone involved for their support of our exciting new library. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Burke Andrews. He is the chairman of the Prince William Public Library Board of Trustees.
Let's see if we can get this to stand up. Good. Isn't this a great day to be here to open this new library? What a beautiful, beautiful edifice. Distinguished guests, Mr. Chairman, members of the Board of County Supervisors, ladies and gentlemen, young adults, good morning. On this wonderful morning, I would like to thank the Library Board of Trustees for their concerted and dedicated efforts bringing the building of this library to a successful conclusion. The Library Board of Trustees consists of 10 members. 8 members are appointed by the Prince William County Board of Supervisors. 7 of these members represent respective magisterial districts, and we have 1 trustee at large. Also, we have 1 member from the city of Manassas and 1 member from the city of Manassas Park. Its major function is to collectively provide direction to our library director in the performance of her duties. All trustees are volunteers. And now I would like to introduce to you some of the trustees who have put forth a concerted effort to get this library and the library at Montclair built in due fashion. I would first like to introduce Miss Mary Jo Rigby. Where is she? She's hiding back there. She, of course, represents the Gainesville District. Mr. Brian Murphy, who represents the Brentsville District. Miss Catherine Turner, who represents the Cole District. And I represent the Occoquan District. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. And we have a representative from the city of Manassas, Mr. William Boyce.
Connie Harris is here also.
Huh?
Connie Harris.
Oh, I'm sorry. We also have Connie Harris, who represents the Woodbridge District. I also want to thank the members of the Board of County Supervisors, our current library director, Dr. Connie Gilman, and former library director, Mr. Dick Murphy, who unfortunately is not here at this moment, for their leadership. The library staff, the Friends of the Haymarket Gainesville Community Library, the county staff, the Luke Meyer Partnership for designing such a beautiful building, and to E.E. Reed Construction for building this beautiful library. As you can see, the County of Prince William Public Library System is undergoing change. And as former President John Kennedy stated, quote, "Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are bound to miss the future," unquote. It is clear that libraries in general are evolving into facilities quite different from the libraries many of us are used to attend while growing up. That evolution in service and resources is in response to the changing expectations of its users. This library reflects those expectations in its design and clearly demonstrates that the Prince William Public Library System is fulfilling that vision of change. The Library Board of Trustees has embarked on a new 5-year vision strategy to continue and strengthen its commitments that the library system remains a vibrant, visible, and valued community member. Knowing the Board of Trustees as I do and the library staff, this library system will honor each one of these strategies and move forward with this new community library. And I can promise you, we will engage each patron with new programs and services that provides educational and learning advantages and experience that they have not found elsewhere in this community. We welcome the many wonderful opportunities this library will offer to our patrons. This library consists of inspiring and invigorating children and teen areas, more spaces for study and meetings, and updated technological enhancements, computer workstations, including wired and wireless connections. This library is also the first in our county, and perhaps the first in the United States of America, to include a unique historical learning experience with the presence of the Bushy House, which is being restored and is a former home built in the 1800s and served as a hospital during the Civil War. Prince William County's Division of Historic Preservation will partner with the library to provide interpretive events for all. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment in time when we allow ourselves to stop and acknowledge the great accomplishments of constructing this new library. We thank the Board of County Supervisors for making the tough financial decisions to go forward with this library, and the local citizenry for voting for this wonderful library. Before closing, I would like to present you with some local history that accompanies this historical library. For those who are not aware of the history, there is a thumbnail sketch of the Haymarket Gainesville Community Library built on land that is deemed sacred in terms of American history. In 2008, the United States House and Senate passed legislation which President Bush signed, declaring that a section of land 180 miles long and 75 miles wide be designated as hallowed ground. That area goes from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, to Charlottesville, Virginia. This area has been declared to be a national heritage and is located on the Route 15, formerly known as the Caroline Road, and has suffered the loss of over 620,000 lives and over 1,000 battles during the Civil War. The designated area contains more national history than any other region in the nation, and the 180 by 75 miles includes the following: 8 presidential homes, 18 national parks, 1,000 historical sites, 57 historical towns and villages, 21 historic homes, 7 major battles, which include Gettysburg, Antietam, which is the bloodiest battle of the Civil War, Monocacy, First Manassas, Second Manassas, the Wilderness, Chancellorsville, and many other smaller battles. The hallowed ground includes the following towns: Gettysburg, Frederick, Leesburg, Haymarket, Gainesville, Manassas, Brentsville, Bristow, Warrenton, Culpeper, the Plains and Harper's Ferry, and many other minor towns. Now this library is part of hallowed ground and indeed is located in a coveted place in history. Maps of the hallowed ground have been made available free of charge via the Journey Through Hallowed Ground Foundation and are available at the Haymarket, Gainesville, Bull Run, and Central Libraries. And finally, if you would like to contribute to the functioning of the Haymarket Gainesville Community Library, consider signing up as a library volunteer or joining the Friends of the Library. Either of the opportunities can be a rewarding experience. Thank you for joining us this morning and sharing in the excitement of opening this long and awaited treasure. Dr. Gilman?
I was just given a letter that Senator Mark Warner sent to us, and I would like to read it. Dear friends, I am pleased to extend my warmest greetings to all who are gathered for the grand opening of the Haymarket Gainesville Community Library. Libraries are essential to the health and future of our communities. The programs offered by the Haymarket Gainesville Community Library will make a positive impact on the literacy and lifestyle of residents. We need concentrated efforts to grow participation in early childhood literacy opportunities and to teach youth the love of reading. Local libraries serve as central meeting places for organizations. Publications and computers can be used at no charge. I applaud all those who have worked so hard to make this day possible. Your commitment to help strengthen the community and improve the lives of others is to be commended. On this important occasion, I am very pleased to join with your community in wishing the Haymarket Gainesville Community Library the very best for a successful and fulfilling event. Sincerely, Mark R. Warner, United States Senator. We will now be moving to what we've been here and waiting for, and that is cutting of the ribbon. And then all of you may come on into the library. We will have some refreshments there right out here. But also what we're very excited about are all the new materials, and invite you to come in, look around, check out your library materials, whether it's a new DVD, a book, or a CD. We've got lots of them and they're very exciting. And also to look around and explore what this wonderful community has done and the gift that has been given to all.
On the count of three. 3, 2, 1.